Before I break down these 5 landmine exercises, I want to talk to you about the difference between warm-up and pre-fatigue. And before I do that, welcome to the Anatomy Therapy. I'm Dr. John Cybulski, and I dissect movement to help you better understand exercises to help meet your goals. But first of all, what is the difference between warm-up and pre-fatigue? So first of all, you can see over here, we got Marcus Philly. He is doing a lighter weight landmine warm-up, what he likes to call, and I like to call, pre-fatigue. What are the differences between pre-fatigue and warm-up? Great question. Warm-up, we just think about getting the blood flowing. You need to get moving for about 5 to 10 minutes. You know that at rest right now, we are both at rest probably, we have about 20% of the blood flow going through our body. After about 5 to 10 minutes of a light warm-up, getting the blood pumping, we have about 80%. That minimizes risk of injury. That's the biggest thing. Now, specifically when we go through some of these movements over here, like this landmine Cossack squat, which we'll talk about here in a second, we are targeting specific areas and specific movements, specific muscles that we will later target with a heavier load. So first of all, we're going through with a lighter weight, and we're just getting a lot of blood pumping specifically into that area, getting higher metabolic activity, higher nervous system activity, so that later when we load it heavily, we are able to take more load and we can hit some metabolic fatigue, i.e. get those muscles that we want to grow. So first of all, that's the biggest thing. It's going to help us get more blood flow, target the muscles we want to target, and prevent injury. This is key. Now, let's get to these exercises. The first one, as I said, this is Marcus Philly. These are going to be exercises for a leg day. So for like a squat and a hinge. They're also just great for a rest day in case you're just extra sore or something like that. But let's start with this RDL. So we are doing a stance that is symmetrical. We have a weight off to one side. He's holding it with one arm. Obviously. We are working on hinging here. This is the big thing. We are hinging, but then we are pulling a load through one arm. And so you notice that there's a little bit of an imbalance, so he's going to get a little extra tension here on that right side. Obviously, the hamstrings and the glutes, the hinging motion is being prepped. So when like he said, he adds more weight, he's going to be able to do that really well. The offset weight is okay if it is lighter and he's doing a higher rep count like we were talking about with the pre-fatigue action. Single leg RDL, classic one. Now we go to a snatch pull. So he is warming up. This is a little bit more of the upper back. So again, if he's doing a deadlift or something, you're going to hit the lower back and the upper back. A lot of people kind of ignore this upper back when they warm up for a deadlift. This high snatch RDL is going to kind of target that. And again, he's going to be able to get a ton of reps. You'll see it'll kind of open up these lats here. It's going to get this posterior shoulder. And again, he's just getting a ton of blood flow through this hinging motion. So you're really prepping that hinging motion for those squats and those deadlifts. One of the things about that people usually miss with their squats is that there is a good deal of hinge within the squat. So a good warm-up for a squat is going to be a hinge, and this is going to be that. Same thing with the squat. You're going to need a tight upper back. Anytime you've felt yourself kind of get injured with a squat, it's usually because the weight is up there on your back and something somewhere between the weight and your hips and the ground gives way. So this is a great warm-up for the back. The single arm on one side, again, do them on both sides. Maybe I didn't say again. Do them on both sides, please. Flip from the right, do the left. He's just doing this for the gram. But make sure you warm up from the first one, the RDL. Of course, we're getting hamstrings, glutes, hinging motion. The first one is going to be a little bit of a lower back. He's working on keeping that arm stable. The pelvis and the trunk are nice and tight for the heavier load later. And then this snatch one is going to hit the upper back. Let's go to the third one. This is a curtsy lunge. So now he's focusing a little bit more on a single leg. So this is closer towards the squat. And so we can isolate one side or the other. If you've ever felt that you've done a squat and you can't feel one glute or one leg engage as much as another, or you feel one quad is a little bit tighter than the other, this is the warm-up that you need to kind of be doing. So this is really focusing on getting this quad to work, stabilizing this leg, and then putting a lot of weight through the hip. Changing the weight through the middle of the body also helps deload the upper and load the bottom. So let's just say Marcus has some left knee pain. He can do a lot less weight with these curtsy lunges and then load up this knee in a safe way. Really work on his form with the lighter weight so that when he gets to the heavy stuff, it becomes very easy and very natural. He doesn't really have to focus on his form because he's going to have a lot of weight on his back. Curtsy lunge, so the leg goes back. He's hinging well back into this hip. That's what this back leg is for here. When this back leg goes back, it's really thrusting you into that opposite hip so that you can center your weight, again, through the hip, not necessarily through the knee or through the back or anything like that. It's just going to prep you for a good squat. But again, he's doing a bunch of reps of these so that the correct movement becomes kind of natural, athletic, instinctual, so that when he has weight, it's super easy. Okay, on to the next one here. This is a Cossack squat, but the weight is kind of behind him. So with the Cossack squat, again, we are working on loading one side. With the landmine behind you like this, he's also working on shifting his weight back into the hip. This is, again, for people with knee pain. If you're putting the weight on your back, oftentimes the weight will go forward through the knee. It should. You want weight forward through your knee, but you want more back hinging through the hips. And again, he's working on getting laterally into this side. Now, this is again great if you have a tight groin. Sometimes you'll feel, again, if you're stuck on one side or the other, one leg gets hurt more than the other. If you have single-sided knee pain, you're going to want to warm up this way. So this is going to stretch out the groin and again help you move laterally into that hip. And then again, like I said, the landmine is giving you an extra posterior weight shift, which is crucial in terms of hinges and squats. We don't want to be tilting forward. We want our upper body back. He's able to lean back into this. I like this with a little bigger plate. The little ones are fine, but with the big ones, you can kind of feel it and kind of lean back. Marcus is a fantastic mover, so he doesn't need that much help moving back. But these are awesome way because these Cossacks are often very hard to lean back. It's hard to keep a straight up torso. This is a great way to prep, and you can get, again, a lot of reps, blah, blah, blah. You've heard this 1,000 times. You can really tell what the pre-fatigue stuff is. Okay, back to, we're doing single leg RDLs. Now he's focusing on holding it with two hands, and then he's going to alternate left leg, right leg. This is left leg, then back to the right leg. So again, he's getting a lot of load into the hamstring. We got a straight torso. He's able to lean forward there, get onto his toes. That's okay, because he's being able to shift his weight back. We're going to get a ton of reps into this hamstring, into the glutes, and then he's just getting left and right and left and right just to warm it up. So the landmine is a great accessory to help you really target smaller muscles to prep you for those bigger muscles. If you guys have any questions about this, I know I went over a bunch of stuff. Add suggestions to the comments below. You guys have been great about that. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share this with somebody. We've got a podcast. Check out our podcast. We talk about all this stuff in far more depth, me and my buddy Bobby. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Peace.